Hi, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are around the world. Hello and welcome to Spiritual Soul Centre Authentic Aura Crystals. Thank you for joining in today. Really appreciate the support. I'm tuning in live from Morocco, so I'm actually there ready to do the retreat. I'm there a day early, getting everything ready and prepared for myself. So I can't stay on long, so I'll be meeting the rest of the team at 7. So yeah, some really exciting things. If you come in on the trip, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to do some magical work with you guys. If not, please send us love and energy if you feel drawn to. I'm sure a lot of you is jealous, missing
I'm
me.
jealous. I'm jealous. I wasn't jealous last night, but I'm jealous today.
I've already said. I'd be fuming. I'd be sneaking in your suitcase. I'd be like, don't go without me. Not leaving me. So yeah, it's normal. We're all having human emotions. But yeah, I think it's just nice to kind of stay in touch. Thank you for everyone that tuned in, that came to the Manchester event. I've just had honestly the most unbelievable support from that and messages. So beautiful, so much love, so much energy, so much activations. What a beautiful day! What a beautiful time! Wonderful to meet so many people. I'm so glad loads of people came up to us and said hello and got pictures. It was beautiful. It was really nice. A bit overwhelming, not gonna lie. It was a bit strange, but it was nice. It was good. But yeah. So I'll hand over to Trish, let her kind of talk a little bit today. I'll just sit and chill while she downloads you with all the necessary information for this time in humanity right now. So take it away.
Well, really, I just want you to speak about what I remember as a child and other things, what's come forward. Some things that we've had to deal with in our journey. And I've heard a lot of people speaking about it on YouTube, remembering things that happened to them.
100%. Had a lot of that with customers. So it's definitely relevant.
It brought up, some stuff that I'd forgotten.
100%. Just before you carry on, let's just layer this session with protection. Let's just ask everyone to place a hand on the hearts when you're watching this. Don't matter if you're watching this live or afterwards. Hand on your heart, calling in that heart space, visualizing the green color around your heart, pulsating from your hand into the heart, spreading around the body and spreading around the whole auric field and the space that you're in. Protecting the space as we talk about any low vibrational frequencies. We are not tapping into that. We are just using them as examples for learning. We are not inviting any energies into this circle. We guard this space with protection and love of the highest vibrational frequency of the Golden Age. This session is protected by Archangel Michael. Sorry, I just felt like we needed to do a little bit of a...
Yeah, no, it's been a bit off. It's been a bit off, hasn't it? I mean, yesterday, look at yesterday. Whoa. I mean, heavy. I don't even say his name. But yeah, somebody came to York and Bradford yesterday to visit. And wow, what did we feel yesterday? I thought we'd have an heart attack.
I mean, how hilarious. I'm really glad you brought that up because I've not forgotten about it, but forgotten about it for the video. And we were literally just driving. I was getting stuff sorted for Morocco, money-wise. And we wanted, it was just a random trip we took to this certain place. We was on his way back at random timing, no scheduled, structured plan. And as we're at the traffic lights, we see rows and rows of police motorbikes, flashing light vehicles, flags on cars, like a convoy, a full convoy.
Well, was this?
I mean, I got a bit pissed off because it took us traffic. It took us whole green light. I was like, for fuck's sake, couldn't wait till the red light. We had to sit there and wait for the next light. I was not happy about that. So it was, for us, it was kind of a human thing. We dealt with it in a bit of a human way. It was like, oh, what's that? What's this? But then obviously we still had a thought of, oh, spiritually, what is that? You know, we always had that thought. And then when we got back to Trisha's house, she started having, she's not usually a feeler. Like, don't get me wrong, she feels something every now and then, but it's more a download. She gets information downloaded. Is that right, Trish? And
yeah, not the time.
Yeah, so it's not common for you to have, like, for me, I get random blips of fucking body shit and I'm like, you know, figuring it out because I'm not necessarily as intense as that either, but it's just more common, I suppose, more frequent. Whereas yesterday it took you by surprise and it was almost what we describe as like an anxiety attack, similar to, but
yeah, what
no
panic attack. No
Yeah, but with
conscience
no
attached to it.
yeah, yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
"What
yeah.
is this?"
There was no pre-op, no thoughts, no fear, no physical thoughts conjuring that panic attack, contributing to that, creating that. So what we channeled into to kind of get the answers on that was, first of all, it was adjustment to frequency. We do believe there was archangels in the space to keep the space protected, because there was darker energy that had been visiting our space. And even when we just zoom out and look at it, I mean, imagine the odds of
Mm.
someone of that high caliber in that family being in the specific place where we are then parked right in front of them to watch them come past. And the energy of that, we didn't do anything, we didn't say anything, we didn't even acknowledge who it was, we didn't know who it was in the car. But our presence and our energy, this is so important for everyone to realize. When I get asked all the time, what is my soul purpose? What am I doing? And I'm like, guys, you're already doing it. By being a light worker, by being a vibration of light and love, by being a higher vibrational being, when you're in a space, it's like you're a lighter color, and everything around you that's able to activate that color within themselves will activate. So you are allowing people to tap into that higher frequency that you give off. So when we are in that space of around such opposite energy, so we've got the light energy, the higher energy, and then such dark energy. I couldn't think of another word. You know, dark shit, there's dark energy. When that's around, it's like the balance, and it's like you've got to recognize in life and in daily life where you're placed by the universe, or where your higher self has placed you to be at a certain point to do a mission. When you don't know that's a mission, you didn't know it for a reason, you didn't know you were going to be called there, you wasn't planned, but your energy source was pulled to that location to hold the light. You didn't do anything, you didn't say anything, but you held the light. And that vibrational frequency that you managed to keep in that area, that vicinity, is of a higher vibrational frequency, rather than dropping it into pure darkness and allowing the dark entities to feed off your vibrational energy, feed off your light force, or create darkness around them for them to feed off. So just remember that when you're in a room and you think, oh, I'm not doing my purpose, I'm not doing it, and you think you're 20, 30, 40, 50, everyone else is doing this, and that, and I'm not doing it. Look actually at the difference you make to that place, that person, and have a look. Because what if, for example, yesterday, when me and Trish seen that thing, we had not been there, and really random hypothetical example, what if there was a car accident? What if there was some sort of negative incident that was created by that negative energy, that your energy, your light energy, can balance out by creating that vibration of love? So it's a bit, I hope people understand that, because it's a bit complicated, but we have to still be censored on what we say and how we say it, because we can get took down really quickly for stuff like that, and we're still a new platform, so we are trying to build on that sense. But hopefully you understand what we're talking about. If not, just take a Google of who visited Bradford on the 8th of November 2022, and yeah, Google will tell you. So then
That
you'll have
Google, that bloody Google.
Google, and that'll give you more context as to what we're talking about with dark and light energy there, and balancing that out. But yeah, sorry Trish, I just thought I'd add that in, because I think it's really important for people to know that you don't need to be doing a reading or healing to be doing your mission. Yes, that's
Of
fucking wonderful
course,
to do
of
that if you're
course.
doing.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, that one, what, lunchtime? We didn't even find out till, I think it was 3:30. I found out who that
Yeah,
was,
well, about
and then
I found out.
yeah. Well, I thought we're having a heart attack, didn't I? I'm like,
Yeah,
what is this? What is my
yeah. So
body doing?
we didn't really talk much about that. So you can explain, because obviously you experienced it. You can explain a little bit, because if it is possibly a protection symptom or an ascension symptom, it might be something that others might experience as well. So it might be a good thing to just kind of mention what happened, how you felt, and how you navigated through it, so that if someone else experiences something else, obviously if it is a serious heart condition or a panic
Yeah,
attack,
don't think it in.
don't fucking go, oh, I'm all right, I'm just ascending. Make sure you check with medical people if you're having fucking heart pains and shooting down your arm. But if it's very minor, very small, and it happens once and it's just a quick thing, then obviously still check with your own health, check inside, but know that it might be things going
It's
on
something
around
that I don't. Yeah, it's something that obviously we question everything anyway. So literally, while I'm getting these pains in my chest, and then they're going down my arm, and I'm thinking, right, what's going on? So we
you. Hmm.
obviously still ask the questions, don't we? We don't go,
Yeah.
oh, panic mode.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
what is this?
I mean, don't get me
And
wrong, there's still fear, still feel
Of
fear.
course, well, yeah, my face showed you what I was feeling like, "What the fuck is this on you?
Mhm.
What's going on here?"
100%. But it's different. It's like, right, there's a fear, human emotion, but how am I going to respond to this? Am I going to respond to go, what's going on? I'm going to, or am I going to go, right, what's going on? Check in, level yourself, ground yourself, breathe, calm your mind, get some information on what's going on. There's two ways how we react to a situation of fear, panic. How are we going to respond to it?
Yeah, and I don't think, not in my older years, that I've had a panic attack. I can't remember ever having a panic attack. I don't know what they feel like until yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it were bad, but it didn't last quite long as well. So I also think that links in what we were saying to others. So what I was saying to you is about understanding others as well, because obviously we all have our own experiences. You understand others a lot in your own way of working with women, working with empowering women, and having your own voice and your own confidence, self love. But I suppose anxiety and mental health is not one of the things you are.
well,
Or
no, because look, we've been doing this such a long time, so it's
yeah,
like customers who come for that, it's like, "Oh, okay, go see Anya."
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's an
and that
over. It's just
it's
because I'm
nice.
non-understanding of it. That's all. It's not something that I've. Let me shut this. Not something that I've been through, so it's not.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
not
the thing.
there.
Same
The
thing with me.
understanding's not there.
I would not, necessarily understand to the same extent that you would in empowering a woman to leave a domestic abusive relationship because I've not been there. So it's that understanding that we bring from our own experiences, and with your experiences, yeah, like we were saying with mental health, they're not limited, but yeah, I suppose let's lack of better words, let's just use that word. In your own personal experiences, obviously you've had experiences with your family members and stuff like that, but in your own personal experiences, actually feeling that feeling of panic and fear was quite unfamiliar to you. And for other people that might work in that way, that maybe not empaths, because I get this a lot. Like I'm an empath, raging empath over here, so I'm not going to help you on this one. But Trish is not necessarily as empathic, as sensitive to energy in emotional wise as I am. And I think it's interesting for people that are open that think they're not as open because they're not an empath, because they don't pick up on energy instantly and they just get information downloaded which they think they're making up. And that's where they get this like cross line between, oh, I'm not getting what they're getting because they can read emotion instantly.
Well,
But there's
everybody's
this,
different. Just
yeah,
you
yeah,
take
yeah.
your own journey. It's your journey.
And
Just
it's
learning,
important
isn't it?
for them to recognize that you can still be such a fantastic open medium healer reader and not necessarily need to be an empath or not necessarily need to read on human emotion on that level to that intensity. I think that's really important just to kind of have that side note as well. But just going back a little minute onto understanding, I think it was quite, I think people do have a lack of understanding if they've not gone through mental health, and that's not a disrespectful thing. People just don't have a clue when they think there's certain words that people use and phrases like, oh, just get up, just think better, just do differently. And from someone that's been there myself, I mean, you felt it yesterday. Sometimes you literally feel like you are dying. Like you feel like I have times where my fingers are numb, or oxygen has been sucked out of my lungs, my heart is pounding, my head's going dizzy, I'm gonna faint. I don't know what's going on. And that happened to me 15, 20 times a day. So if you're on
Can
one
I just as well say from that? So what I found out today, I was working today, obviously, and I found out that a lot of people, a lot of college students, um, fainted and had fits
yeah,
yesterday
mhm.
by the airport. So,
Which airport?
you know, Eden Airport. So, was that about that person yesterday? I don't know. Was it other things?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're always here to put theories out there. We're not claiming to know the true facts. We just interpret it how we interpret it. And that's all we ever claim to do. But in our interpretation, we don't believe in coincidences. And it does seem a bit coincidental that presents were around the area yesterday. And then multiple people had physical effects. It might not be connected. It might be to do with something else.
Well, mine won't for sure, won't it?
No, yours won't, obviously
Have
not.
that dirty thing.
Definitely not. But yeah, so yeah, just going back to that, just to finish up on that note, I was going to say Whether you're at the extreme of feeling it all the time, feeling emotions all the time and trying to regulate that like I was, or whether you're at the place where Trisha's at and you're kind of experiencing these emotions for the first time and just kind of navigating through them, which either side you're at, or if you're in the middle, whatever. Um, please just don't think that you're mental, first of all. Please don't think that you're in this on your own at all. And just remember that we're all still experiencing things daily. Me, Trisha, people that are still, that you believe in your minds on this pedestal that really need to come down, as I talk about all the time. We're all on the same level. Just because someone's got more experience in maths or more experience in science or more experience in technology doesn't make them a better person than the other person, or more
No, we're
um
all navigating the journey, love, with you all.
and that's the point. We still experience these things, you know. On the weekend, going to the Manchester event, before that I had a horrendous anxiety. I had quite bad panic attack then. I'd not had one in quite a few years. So you don't just get to this place where you go, oh, I'm healed now, I'm all better. You know, it
Hey,
just doesn't happen like that. Yeah, there we go, back to 5D. You know, I wish it were that easy, it'd be wonderful, but it's not. And it's about giving yourself the patience and the time and the space and the vulnerability to allow yourself to heal, and to not feel like you always have to be all the time doing the best thing and being a fake version of self, really, because no human being, which is what we all are, remember that, no human being is ever perfect. No human being is ever without disruptions, up and down, emotions, levels of transitions between the up and down wave. No human being is without that. And if they're portrayed to be, they're fucking lying. They're false. It's not true. It's not true at all. So I'll let you talk a little bit about um your early bobs and stuff.
oh,
Really,
well, early Bobs. Yes.
we
Do you
love
know,
a
I'm
good.
not sure if I don't really remember my childhood, really. Not young years. I remember Spirit. I do remember Spirit. I remember Nasty Spirit. And you know, I heard somebody on YouTube today. I don't know whether to say her name because I don't know whether we'll get flagged, but beautiful lady Gina. I'll say it as that.
Yeah.
Stating that she heard something last night, like a growl, and that brought back so many memories. So as a child, that is all I heard. I'll never
Yeah.
forget that noise. You
Got
know, that
goosebumps.
growl in your, right in your ear. And I remember I used to jump from top of the steps to bottom. I'd just launch myself down steps. Horrendous. And yeah, other things. I mean, do you remember when? So I was doing some online work. I'm sure it was crystal healing or something like that. And they say they come, don't they, to distract you from your journey. So we must have
Well,
been really, really going on his journey then. But I remember I was doing some online work training, and I seen something at the corner of my eye. Anyway, when I looked, I'd seen something slither under my door and stood up in me, like little hallway, if you like. And I looked at it and I said, "Oh no, fuck off, not yet. I'm busy." Literally gave it nothing. Turned around, carried on doing what I was doing for a good hour or so.
and let's just say, just before that, the night before, I was living with you then.
Yeah, I didn't
And
know
the
though.
night before, no, you wasn't aware, but I'll just fill them in before you carry on. Literally, the night before this happened, Trish's house is always protected. There's never anything in that house. And I went down in the middle of the night, about 1:30, to get something to eat. And I knew instantly there was something in the kitchen. And at that time, bear in mind, this is like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So I didn't know fuck all about demons and attachment. I mean, I didn't even know what the word entity meant. We didn't even fucking know what it meant. None of us did. So we had no idea about what we was facing. We worked with spirit, we worked with tarot cards. That were it. We had no idea of anything else. And I come down, get the food. I didn't even get the food. I got that scared. I was like, fuck this. Yeah. Ran off. And I literally, the only thing I can describe it to you, it was like something was trying to get into my spine. And now, fucking makes so much sense, doesn't it? But I was running up the stairs, trying to put my back to the wall, because I was like, you ain't getting in my back, you motherfucker. When I ran up the stairs, I got in the bedroom and I was like, nah,
Fucking
pinned against
yeah.
that wall. And I made Brad come for a wee with me because I was like, I'm not going to the toilet on my own. Like, I would genuinely, it scared me, because I remember thinking, I am not leaving this bedroom on my own. And that's how scared I was. So it frightened me, but we'd not spoken, because I went to sleep then about 2, 3 a.m. and you'd got up and started doing your work, and I wasn't up yet. So I'd been then upstairs, as you'd then seen that in your doorway. So I was just letting them know the
But you know
times
what?
because
Thinking back now, I mean, years ago, I'd have fucking shit myself and run you. You know,
I
you
shit
know what I mean?
myself.
Let's do
Ran up
fucking
them
put me in the
stairs.
garden one day.
And
But
ran.
I didn't. I just looked at it and I thought, fuck off. Don't even
Yeah.
dare.
Mhm.
But so then I remember going to pick the kids up from school. Well, no, before that, Stanley, the dog, had come and sat near me and I could smell like shit. I thought, God,
Like
you've
pewter.
fucked, you know, I could smell of shit. And
Storage.
then I'd gone to pick kids up from school. And
I
it was
was
the
sat with
kids,
her. Mhm.
the kids said to me, what's up with the dog? Like, what do you mean? He won't look at us. What do you mean he won't look at you? So
Bear in
then,
mind,
obviously,
this dog is the most
this dog,
soft,
beautiful.
placid. I always joke and say it's not even a dog; it's a teddy bear. It's literally like a little bear and goes, "Hi, mum." You know, he's so chill. He's
Oh,
so
yeah,
calm.
you don't never tell him off at anything in life, you
He
told me that.
doesn't do anything.
But you
He
don't
looks
need
like
to.
he's going on a fucking walk. He does nothing like a dog. He's just like, I'm
Oh,
just
no, you
chilling.
let him off his lead and he's like, please put me back on, mummy.
He's like the
Let me
calmest, cutest
breathe
little
you.
shit. So there is not a chance on this earth that dog would like. He's not a cheeky dog. He's not attitude dog. He don't like my dog's a little twat. My dog would be pulling his head away from you anyways. But this was fully out of character for this dog's behaviour because he's such a chill, placid dog. It was just so out of character, completely out of character. I were upstairs though, when he shouted me down.
Yeah, well, no, I remember I grabbed his face because he wouldn't look at me and I grabbed his face and I looked straight in his eyes and I just said, I see you, bastard. And yeah, come here. We've got work to do. I remember doing the crystal grid on the tail. I don't even know how I did that because I've fucking no idea how I did it. But like with
There,
the
we stood
crystal
aside.
grid,
Well, I
windows
stood there,
open.
shut my eyes, and I remember feeling like you were already putting shit on the table, and I was like, right, got to make this like this. So I remember thinking, I had a plan in my head. Fuck knows where the plan came from. I was like, right, got to put one there, got to put one there, got to do that there,
Oh,
and it was like
wow.
this circle. And you opened windows, we did a cleanse, and I think that, well, technically that was his first ever entity removal.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, consciously, yeah.
yeah, consciously, yeah,
Doors
because
open, windows open, get the fuck out.
and then
I
afterwards,
remember him. I remember it. Well, like it was looking back now. When I was looking at him, it was like it was suffocating him. It was,
well,
you know, he couldn't breathe. He was sweating.
yeah, yeah,
Fucking
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
bastard.
like couldn't breathe properly. I remember, I fully remember.
Get
And
out,
also
you.
afterwards, we were on about it. We were on about spirit. We were saying, "Oh, must have been a bad spirit." Da, da, da. And then I kept saying, "No, truth is saying to me, it's not spirit. It's not spirit. It's never been a human. It's not spirit." And they
No.
kept saying
Oh
this
wow.
word. Yeah, the
Yeah.
word they kept saying, the word, and I was like, "What's this fucking word?" And I googled the word entity, and it said it's never a human being, a dark energy attachment. And that's so funny because what I'd seen was black mist.
Yeah.
So it
All right.
wasn't a
Yeah. Well,
person.
that's what I'd seen come under my doorway, and I thought, don't
I
fucking
never
think
seen
that.
a person. It didn't feel like a man or a person. It just felt like dark shit. And that's the thing when you realizing that this war we're going against. I mean, there were two of us there, both opening up at the same time. They were like, "Fuck this! These powerful ones. We got to try and knock them off their path." And it slightly worked for about a week for me because it amplified my depression, my anxiety, my negative thoughts. I was in quite a bad place then, and it really like next level up the notch. And I think that was the first time after then I started reading into about entities and reading into how they make you the what's the word influence your thoughts to make you believe that the people that are helping you and helping you enlighten you are actually not and bad things about them. They throw you away from people that are helping you, people that are soul family. They make you think bad things about yourself, about other people, start tempting you with, oh, we'll give you this power, we'll give you this money, we'll give you this, start tempting you with
Yeah. You
thoughts.
know, and it's really strange because it wasn't long ago. So I had something here. I'm not sure what it was. I got rid of it straight away. And I'm really surprised that they've got in because nothing's allowed near my home. So I don't know whether it just sneaked in, like those others do. Those others, I mean, as in, so I'll only work with, not nice, just nice little old grannies, but I won't work with rapists or anything like that. No spirit allowed
As we
through
don't,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, but sometimes they do seep through. And obviously they just want to say sorry. When they're in, spirit world, they want to say sorry. But I had something pop in not long ago, must have been a couple of weeks ago. And they just said to me, did they say I'm friend? I can't remember
yeah.
what they said now.
You said
No, I don't
friend.
think it was friend. It was, I'll come in peace.
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
listen,
yeah.
motherfucker, if you've got to come in peace and you've got to say that to me, fuck right off.
Because the vibration of peace you can feel.
But
Or
I work with them anyway, so I'm like, why the fuck are you even saying that to me?
are you announcing your presence?
Yeah, you come in peace, get fucked.
Because they
So
have to get
that
consent,
was
and
that was
yeah.
straight off.
And what a
But
great
you know,
point you
yeah,
just.
you reminded me. You reminded me. I mean, before I started even working with aliens or trying to speak to aliens, I remember I used to do a 6 o'clock morning written work, didn't I? Yeah, automatic writing, and they did tell me that I was going to see different energies. I remember I seen that space raider on fence.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, space raiders are following you. I'm like, fuck off.
no, and it
um,
is the journey. That's why it's so important to write shit down. But just before we move from that last point, consent is such an important thing. You don't know that you're giving it by when they go, oh, come in peace, and you're like, oh, all right then.
all
That's
right then.
that's the consent.
Oh,
That's all you need is that one thing for you. Oh, all right then, sounds. So you've got to be not you. I know you are, but
no, yeah.
everyone's
You see,
got to have.
do you know, I'm really lucky because I were really discerning anyway. Do you remember when we used to meditate? I used to terrified about meditating.
Mhm.
So obviously you didn't realise at that time. So I wouldn't have to just deal with, there's a person there wanting to contact. I'd have to deal with this person there. Then there'd be another thing over there with the hood up, they're not showing me the face, and then there'd be a fucking thing crawling up my body. Do you remember? Fucking get off. That wasn't even human. So I had to deal with all that in one go while I was trying to meditate. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
luckily
I didn't
it was
understand at
easier.
the time, I really didn't understand. It wasn't until I experienced multiple entity attacks continuously. And the one time I felt like that intensely were when we did that group meditation session just after I'd been attacked at Thingy's house. I won't say her name, but you know what I mean? At that place where we all were together, all girls. And I remember meditating there. And same thing, I would try to go up to the veil. I don't know why we were going up, but as I was going up, there was a dark thing with hood and it was pulling my legs down. And I was like, nah. And then obviously I'd just been attacked, really the worst attack I've ever had a couple of days before that. So it was still fresh and I was still in fear. I will give them that. I was still in fear. But I remember thinking at that time, I can't meditate ever again. I can't fucking meditate with this.
Well, I used to just go, you fucking wait there, wait a minute, what the fuck is this going on? Do you know
I
what I mean?
remember thinking like,
No.
because I'd always thought you have so much, like, which you do have so much control, you do 100%. But then because I got scared, because I felt at that one moment that I didn't, then when I remembered afterwards that you do, when you claim your power, I were all right again. But in that one moment, in that time of that moment, where I was living in the fear of not safe here when I meditate, when I close my eyes, when I'm in Akashic realm, I think it was the acknowledgement of how much attachments they are around everyone, how many attachments I have had, myself personally. I mean, the most recent one, I think I only give it consent, not intentionally, by doubting myself and doubting if I was pure of heart. That's how they got consent because I would not fucking consent to that. But in that one moment, I questioned, is there something wrong with me? Is there something in me that others don't see that light? Like, it was a judgment of self that then allowed a dark entity to attach itself on in that one moment. That's how easy it is. And I don't mean to scare people by this in any way because it's just as easy to go get the fuck out. It's not
Of
this big
course,
thing
yeah, of
that you've
course it
seen
is.
in films.
Fuck off.
Like what you see on the films and you see it's bullshit. You don't need to do a fucking full priest ceremony. It's not true. You don't need to do any of that.
Oh, my
However,
mum did that when we were kids.
yeah, you don't
My
need to
mum
do.
got priesting
I
when
mean,
we
if
were
you
kids.
want to, if you want to do a whole priest ceremony, you do you. But you know,
As I said before, yeah, I used to be holy water sprinkler me.
yeah.
Sprinkle it in corners of the room.
And to be fair, my mum used to do that to us in Bath, usually after
Fucking
she'd
hell, I
done.
don't know how old I'd have been. I could have been about 5-year-old sprinkling holy water.
But that's the thing, and so yeah, just
Crazy.
on that. So whether it's holy water, incense, essential oil, whatever the fuck, we've done this before about cleansing your aura, but mainly be aware of if you do feel that your energy's changed randomly, suddenly from something, question who you've been around, what thought patterns you were around in that times, and where your mind went. Because it wasn't until about a week after when I'd been to this place And then reflecting my own behavior, my own mental health that just spiraled from coming back. My thought cycles, my patterns of negative thoughts and behaviors that I had not had in my life for about 2, 3 years had just come back so quick. So I knew instantly that this is not normal. This is not my current vibrational energy. This is an influence over my energy, amplifying a deep ridden insecurity that's deep rooted or deep ridden trauma. So it's really important to first of all be focusing on your insecurities and your trauma and acknowledging your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses rather than hiding from them, because then no one can use them against you. But also to be reflecting on afterwards what contributed to your change in behavior, if there is one, obviously. And entity attachments, things to look for is like we said earlier, negative thoughts about people that are helping you and looking after you. Also negative thoughts about yourself. It's very, very similar to mental health, and usually people with mental health will be more susceptible to it, unfortunately so, because they're already at a current place of vibration, which is pain, anger, upset, trauma, inner child pain, vulnerabilities. There's so much of these insecurities that the darkness attaches onto, and they can't feed that. You feed it by your own feeding the thing, but they're influencing your brain to do that. So it's really important to be claiming your own shit, claiming your own mind, and taking power over your own stuff, and not feeling like you are powerless or weak. So many
Do you know
people
what?
are.
Yeah, just remember, your word is everything.
Mhm.
Your word is absolutely everything. You know, they're just sneaky, are they? I remember I'd seen something about, I don't know how long ago it was, but about this dark entity coming and visiting people. I don't even know whether it was on my mind, when it happened. I just remember, um, it wasn't spirit either. I do believe it were ETs that woke me up. I remember getting woke up
That was the same night I got attacked.
and I said, why do you need me awake? And literally, they either answered me really quick, but my response was, I don't consent.
Mhm.
And then I felt something sucking energy out of my back. And boom, I was straight back to sleep. But then in the morning, I thought, fucking hell, what was stood behind me? It was massive. It was sucking energy out of my spine or whatever it were doing. And it were either fucking lying when they came and said, what you doing? And I do believe they woke me up and said,
I
did
believe your guides woke you up to make sure that you had not consented to that.
I fucking didn't. Well, that was me. Literally, I was all like, why do you need me awake? What do you need me awake for?
So this is really great for
No, I
us to
don't
be
consent.
able to. So when, say for example, you guys watching this, you think you might have an entity attached to you, or attached to your home, or attached to your friend, or someone that's wanting you to really, you can't remove it if they don't want them to remove it. It's just not going to work. But if there's a consensual choice between two free will choices, or your own self. The main thing you've got to remember is, again, heart space. Always heart space. Love vibration fucks them right off, mate. They can't feed off that. It's not what they need. It's not the right food. It's not the right drugs. They just don't get happy by it. So shifting to your heart space always helps to firstly shift the vibration of the space. Then basically saying, I do not consent. I rescind, I remove, I take back all consent I may have previously given. I remove it. So, make that very clear. You do not give consent. A great one that you said to me years ago, Trish, was, you've done your job in trying to throw me off the path of light. I've chosen my other path, so now you can leave. Because they've been sent to take you off
It's
path.
their job, innit? Their job is their job, whether we like it or not. It's not our job. So what they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you, and you're doing a lovely job, but don't fucking bother me. Fuck off somewhere else.
Piss off.
Off
And
you
it is a
go.
point of, instead of being, oh, I was scared, I were in fear, don't get me wrong, but shifting that perspective from fear and anxiety to, oh, actually, I see what you're trying to do. I don't want to do it. So thanks for trying, but off you pop, fuck off, and carry on with your day. And it really can be that easy. I walk into people's houses instantly. I feel I'm like, there's something in your house. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, right, we've got to fucking get off we go now, get the sage out, bitch. Boo boo. And that's all you need. You need a bit of sage, bit of energy. Intention is key. And just call your guides in, call your family, your loved ones, call Archangel Michael in, anything you need, but just remove the consent, remove the energy of the vibration that's at hand, and to not let it get any further. So just be aware of it, be aware of it. And if you notice, say, for example, a change in someone around you, because this is the thing. Sometimes if they can't get to you, they'll get through you. And it's a fucker. Because not everyone around you is as strong as you or as knowledgeable as you on how to protect their energy field. So partners, children, loved ones, animals can be targeted by the dark. So, I'd love to say we're all happy rainbows and shit, but it ain't. We're in a fucking war, and that's the thing. We are. It's all, it sounds a bit doom and gloom, but it's fucking true. We can't bullshit and say, oh, you've just got to say I'm all right, and it just don't work. You've got to have that intention, that power, that belief, knowing that if you don't believe that there's dark entities out there, this might be actually even better, because at least they can't touch you. But the point is, when you're saying fuck off and get out, you have to know that you really are telling them to get the fuck out of your house, like you would if someone were in your house that you didn't want there. You'd tell them to leave. Tell that same energy to leave your house, claim your space, and remove them out of it. So important.
Yeah, definitely. I used to go around with tea towel, do you remember? I used to always have tea towel in my hand.
I've always got this fucker.
Wifting them out.
Fucking ringing all energy out. I love a good bell. Fucking ring all juju out. So that's the thing. Just find what works for you, man. Singing bowls, all that shit. I love all that. Cleansing the space. Anything that works for you, really. But be aware that there is dark shit around and has been for a long time.
Yeah, and do you know what? Do you know what they've just said to me? Obviously, this is what I used to do. So I used to get rid of the nice as well as the nasty, because I didn't know which were which. I had that much trauma as a kid from spirit. I didn't know which what good, what were bad. So I used to just get rid of them all. And then I remember I'd just let in family members. Do you remember? Only family members in my home. Which is not really good when you're trying to be a medium for everybody.
But it still worked. You were still able to navigate.
Of course it did. I navigated it, and it was like, right, I'm only working with the family members of the clients that I'm working with at this time, which is quite good. They're disciplined. Yeah, they're disciplined. I'm not fucking having neighbours, only these family members. So that was my way of doing it. I used to like line up, or else I'm not speaking to you. Whip them in line.
I think you can do that with them. Anything that works for you, do it. As long as it's not bad shit, do it. If it feels right to you, if you feel drawn to, I don't know, a certain ring that you wear that protects you, anything, it's not wrong. It's just what fits in your soul.
But the nice thing to do for people that are just becoming aware of it now is, get in contact with your guides. Work through your guides. We used to do that, remember? I used to do that quite a lot. I'd only work with my guides. I'd ask them to, allow in who they thought. They knew what I didn't want, what I did want. So they'd let them in and send them away and shut the door. So, I used to work like that a lot. So I would only trust them until I got my bearings. And then it was like, right, okay. I will work with other spirits.
And that's the thing, like, don't put yourself on a pedestal or a pressure to be doing what anyone else is doing, because if you were meant to be doing that, you would. That's the thing. You'd already be doing it if you were meant to be doing it right now. No one's saying you can't ever do it, but at this right timing, if it's not flowing, it's not aligned. And trust that things are aligned for a reason, things flow for a reason. And you've just got to find and navigate through your own journey, your own trauma, so that you can be in a place to open up and heal others. That's not going to trigger you. It's not going to cause emotional trauma within your own sense of self. It's really important, because I know throughout my journey of connecting with spirituality, a lot of the time I'll give someone a message and it's relevant to myself too. And a lot of the time it's self-reflection. We are all a mass connected consciousness at the end of the day in some way or another. It might not be in the way some people perceive it, or some people might not be on the same frequency. That's absolutely fine. But we are all collective of one source, collective of one origin. And we are all reflections of that origin. And I think, I don't even really know where I'm going with this, but the point is, what I'm trying to make is, there is a lot of darkness out there, but there's also a lot of light. And now it's getting to the point where there's like 80 to 90% of people activating, even if it's just subconsciously, even if it's just in the sleep, in the dreams, starting getting weird dreams, starting feeling all weird and, waking up feeling drained. You're on missions in your sleep, you're doing subconscious work. So if you've had friends around you that are doing that are not necessarily readers or spiritual, this is why everyone's activating online to their collective consciousness of harmonious energy. But We're going to have to navigate through this, and we have to have discernment between good and not so good, because there really isn't a good and bad either. That's personal perception, but it's all about intention. If that person's or energy is intention is not good, then that's where you've got to discern between what you want to do with that. Check their intention, because someone can be a bad person on earth and then pass over and be a really, really nice spirit because their oversoul is lovely, and they just needed to be collected back to their memories and then them experiences from the oversoul to then become back to
Yeah,
who
do
they
you know what? Yeah, my dad wasn't a very nice person. He used to beat me mum. He was an alcoholic. He used to beat me mum up, and do you know he used to come in spirit world, and I'd be like, "The fuck do you want?" I'd go see psychics like your dad say. Well, I don't fucking want to speak to him.
Yeah.
And then years later, so he'd come all the time, I'd be like, "Fuck off, don't want to speak to you." And then years later, I was getting in bath, and I was trying to put some music on, and I knew a spirit had come forward messing with music, and I thought, right, okay. Right, who is it? Right, it's your dad. I'm like, right, okay. And I just, for a second, I just thought, okay, maybe you couldn't look after me when you were alive,
Mm.
but now you're dead. Now you've passed over, you can.
Takes a big thing.
And literally, that's all that it took. It never came back. He left, he never came back. But it was just simply that, just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Just forgive. And that's all it took.
Because it's not for them. You're not
I just
forgiving.
thought, who am I to even, if I'm holding them back, who am I to be holding them back?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So, yeah,
even for you as well, even for you, there's not any anger there now. There's not that
oh, there
inner
was
child pain.
nothing.
The pain of the inner child that the inner child felt for not having the dad and not having that figure and that role model. A lot of that removed itself when the forgiveness is coming. And even I sometimes get triggered by the word forgiveness. It's more about making peace with it. Making peace with the fact that we're all human, we're all come down here to learn and experience and teach and grow. And sometimes we get it wrong. We all do. And sometimes we get it wrong more than others and continue to do things wrong. And that does not mean we just forgive and excuse this behavior like it is normal. However, we have to have a highest perspective to what made them choose the decisions they did, free will choice. Because we all know the things we signed up to do and the things we end up doing don't always fucking match. Because being a human is complicated and difficult, and it's a lot. And that's the thing. It's about navigating this journey between what works for you, what's easiest for you, but also then respecting your own needs and doing things at your own time and releasing burdens in your soul that are holding you back, and maybe other people, maybe other spirits. So reflect on things that if you've been carrying things since childhood and that anger and that emotion, and that's just always the way it's been, reflect on if now's the time for that to change. And again, it's not for them. It's not for them to feel better. It's for you to feel
It's
free.
you. Yeah, definitely. It's what's
Mhm.
what's holding you back again, isn't
And
it?
just literally, as we've been talking about the dark shit in this video, how many people that have done bad shit, I'm not saying people don't do bad shit, but how many people that have done bad shit have been influenced by dark agendas in the past? We don't fucking know. And when they get to their oversoul, back to source, and they're not influenced by them entities anymore, is it different? And this is the thing. I think it is. Personally, I've had experiences with spirits that have been, but I get on a human level how that can be really hard to navigate when there's been abuse and trauma that is on a human level unfathomable. But then on a higher conscious level, it has reasons,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
at least contributing factors as to why that happened. And again, just a last note, with the sacral chakra here and the interference of the dark agendas with people in childhood with the sacral chakras, with either extraterrestrial abductions, interference, or spiritual encounters that were traumatizing for the sacral chakra and the womb, or influencing other family members. Again, like we said, influencing through other family members to traumatize the light workers from a young age so that they don't enlighten. There's so many reasons why light workers mainly have a lot of sexual trauma from childhood. Is because it blocks off the sacral chakra, which is one of the most powerful creating chakras, the root force energy of your divine feminine or your divine masculine. And if they cut that off, it cuts off the whole center, the whole balance to the alignment. So it was a really great tactic for them to use when trying to stop light workers enlightening. But now we're too far gone. But it is about physically removing the cellular trauma that's been embedded into the womb. And you can do that with visualization, meditations. Trisha's got loads on her website, or just by simply affirming it done. My womb is clear, space, and upgraded to the golden age, to the 5D frequency, whatever vibrational words work for you. And just remembering that a lot of these things that happen to us were never, ever our fault, ever, 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 ever. And the things that happened.
No, I was sorry. Yeah, do you know what I was thinking today? You know what I've really learned through all this? Patience.
Mm.
Because I want it now. And everything, you know, is just have patience.
But well done for you for learning that, because it would have just kept being brought up to you.
I know. I remember before all this pandemic started, and I remember. Do you remember when we went into and I always say this like you're in my meditation with me. Probably are sometimes.
I do usually.
Well, we discussed it afterwards anyway, don't and I remember that they scanned me up, and I remember going to this meditation. I was getting scanned. I'm like, you cheeky cunts, what are you doing? Scanning me up and down. And I remember getting on that ship. I remember they were like, we'd gone to a group meeting, and they were like, everybody go meet your family members. And I remember I met two extraterrestrial beings, and I was stood on the spaceship watching everybody meet the family members. That was a strange one.
What a weird one for you. I remember you
Yeah,
talking.
that was real strange.
I remember you talking about it.
But yeah, it is. It's just patience, because I'm like, just steady up, show yourselves. You know, like just be patient.
And I get that. I get it. But that's also, you know, it's a good thing to be aware of, because people will feel that as well. You know, hurry up, everyone wake up. And then also it's on the other side that those that have just woke up.
But you know, that's really selfish. I mean, not that I don't understand everything at all. And you know, I remember crying for 2 days in bed when I found out everything that I found out. I just was like, what the fuck? What's the point of this? So fucking horrible. But yeah, I do. And then I remember thinking, you know, you then go down and you look at everything, don't you? Watch what you can. Sometimes I think that it just comes to you what you need to watch. And I remember thinking, why can't I just fucking tell everybody? Why can't they just fucking say it? But you know, that was selfish of me, because it was me that I wanted it. I wanted it out. And these poor fuckers now that are waking up to what we've known for years, a couple of years now, it's like, I feel sorry for them. You're like, you poor bastards, man.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, I get both sides to it. I really do. I get the impatience, because sometimes I'm sat in a room like, fuck me, Jesus, I thought we were beyond this by now, you know. But then sometimes I remember when I was in a place of feeling like, wow, I don't know what the fuck's going on, you know. And I think it's nice to have that other people to guide you through it and help you through it. And that is one of our jobs, to be able to assist people through this transition, and to be able to help them through this journey in a way that they find it easier, and there is answers to the questions that we spent months asking. And you know, I was wondering if we're all gonna fucking die, which is not happening, by the way.
Do you remember I thought I was gonna die? Do you remember that?
They were
Oh
all
God! I remember giving you a speech.
but I was like, are you sure though? Like, I really don't think this is right, you know.
Yes, so what it was, I was asking questions. They were telling me a lot of stuff, and I was asking questions, and then they showed me myself. So literally, my skin split, and I was this white being, and I just stepped out of my skin. I like looked back at my skin, and then just looked at myself, and I was pure white light. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. What 3D is that? I'm gonna die, aren't you?
All they were showing me,
You know, like everybody can't be with you all the time.
you fucking Crystal, yeah, she was going, you know, if the time comes where I'm not always here, you know, it's because we're chosen. I'm like, fucking, you think you're leaving me alone with this fucking shit, you mad cunt?
You know, but it took me ages to even figure out what that was. I didn't understand it was crystalline.
Yeah,
I just thought, you know, I'm stepping out of my skin.
Honestly, it was pretty scary. Oh, I'm really sad you're not here. It's a bit sad.
I know.
It'd be good.
I wish I was there too.
Be good if you could come, just teleport over.
I will tonight when I'm asleep. I'll astral travel.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But no, just remember, guys. No one, like I say on nearly every video, no one has a fucking clue what's going on. We're all
Oh, no,
just
come on.
doing it,
We still get downloads now. Well, it could take me 3 months before I realise, oh, yeah,
literally.
that was that then.
That's the thing. No one knows. No one has a clue. So some people might more than others. That's great for them. Good for them. But not everybody does. And we're all just navigating this through. One thing to know is ask questions. If you don't know, ask. Ask because you will be shown whether it's a bird, a word that you see outside, and then you start to just be aware of the things, the symbols that you've been shown after you've asked the question, because they will be shown to you, and there will be things that are being brought up that are answering your questions if you're ready to know. So just remember to ask throughout this journey. You're never alone. You've got a fucking whole army of spirit and guides and angels that walk with you, literally walk with you, surrounding you with protection. Just about connecting in with that and knowing that the more you amplify that knowing, the more it will be. So just remember to hold the light and spread the love, fighting that fucking darkness that we're fighting. But we're already done so well, so there's really no need to worry now. It's just about putting it into action, living it for
Yeah,
real.
getting
And
to know yourself.
on that note, I think it's a good place to end it because
Yeah, I
I've
do
got
too.
10 messages I haven't replied to. But we will keep messaging on, keep getting online and stuff while I'm here. I don't know what it's going to be like in the desert. We'll have to just see for that one. Who fucking knows? Um, but yeah, look after yourselves, guys. If you need any information on spiritual protection or grounding, please just search Spiritual Soul Center Spiritual Protection and it'll come straight up. We've made a whole 40-minute video on spiritual protection and grounding. Obviously, a lot of the things we've talked about in this video are not always the most positive. So just remember after this video, put some music on, get some vibes up, get your
I'll
vibration
go
high,
for
lift your energy up just so that you're not feeling shit. It's not all doom and gloom. It's just, I think it's important to spread awareness and light on this because we didn't know shit. And I think if we knew shit more, it might be a bit easier, a bit quicker to understand. That's all. So
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to explain. The time can be quicker for you guys to learn this. So I'll stop rambling on. I will leave you guys. Love and light to you all. See you later.
bye bye.